Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 116-108 loss to the Miami Heat, Riker. And before we dive into it, before we sort of talk about how this game made us feel, second night of the back-to-back against a very good team, a team that plays with high energy, has played some strong, intense games over the years with the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, they don't have the best record by any means, 4-17 for the Heat, but a talented roster nonetheless. So we don't want to overreact to anything as down as we might be on some players in this game. I just want to start it off with that sort of take right there.
The Raptors are 16-17 now. The Boston Celtics are 15-17, and the Miami Heat are 14-17. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but it's a really tight race, sub 500 among the group of teams that were the best in the East last season, previous season, historically the perennial playoff team. So it's just a weird year all around. I think a lot of that, as we've broke down all season long, is because there's no fans. You don't get the same energy. Hustle plays, energy plays, big blocks, game momentum changing three-pointers. They don't have the same effect. Your whole team needs to be dialed in, and you want to just win for the sake of winning, not because the fans are exciting you. So I think that games like this, where the other team is just willing to collectively grind it out more, as we saw, I mean, the Raptors, they shot terrifically well, but if you have a guy that's willing to just go above and beyond, then that'll get it done. So I agree. It's not an overreaction, but the Raptors this season have a special way in disappointing us as fans. Just when we think they're going to creep back, they lose to the likes of Minnesota, or they drop back-to-back games against the 76ers and the Heat and make us think, how did we ever think that these guys were the top two teams in the East, Ben?
Yeah, and again, there's going to be a lot of slander on guys like Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet for missing a few shots down the stretch or turning the ball over, all these sorts of things. And it's a tough circumstance. It's tough to go into Miami on the road. I guess all games are on the road right now, especially in Florida. And say to go up against Jimmy Butler when you're winded. The Raptors played. It felt like a 4-hour game last night against the 76ers. So it's a tough situation, but it has to be brought up. Pascal Siakam, he has been tremendous as of late for this team, but tonight was really benched. I know he ran into foul trouble and he had 4 fouls for a large stretch of this game, but was benched in the clutch moments down in the fourth. I don't know if there was an injury, if there was anything we missed, Riker, but your max guy getting 5 points, 1 of 6 shooting from the field, just looking out of it. He hit his first 3 in this game and then really did nothing from there. 3 turnovers. Obviously, Siakam's really turned it around as of late. He's looked more energetic. He's getting to the rim and all these sorts of things. Tonight just did not have it going, and this has been a common theme with defenders that are similar to Bam Adebayo.
Yeah. Well, he disappeared against the 76ers last game as well. I thought he could have been more assertive. If you're angry about this one, put a like into the like section. That's just vent out your anger. I think this is going to be a very lightly viewed podcast, to say the least, Ben, but certainly this is a safe space to be angry about the Raptors losing a back-to-back game. So pop into the like section if you're also equally as stirred right now. And
Scream
then
your sorrows into the like section. And Riker, we're also on the road. I played the segment a little bit early, but we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Obviously, as Riker mentioned, it's a loss. It's tough. It's easy to be down on the Raptors, but this is the time to jump on the bandwagon, jump on the Raptors Digest bandwagon, get all the news and stuff. And when people are subscribed and stuff, the Raptors seem to win. So get in there, tell your friends.
Ben, I don't want to talk about Pascal Siakam. I don't want to talk about Pascal Siakam this or that. I want to circle back to what you said about the team looked fatigued. I hate that argument. The lowest paid guy on this team is getting paid probably $800,000 to $1 million. At least the lowest rotation guy, it was minutes wise, was probably Matt Thomas, who's making about that much. These are professionally paid athletes that by all standards of living are well off. Their only purpose over their entire span of career is to stay in shape. It's to be running, doing your sprints in your off days, to be maintaining good cardio. So I just don't understand the argument that back-to-back is too physically demanding for a team to be able to deliver their peak performance. I don't take that. That to me, that's an excuse. And if that's a real issue, then space out the games more. I'm getting sick of watching all these back-to-backs, Ben. Give them more of a break. I mean, All-Star break is obviously very well needed now, whether or not the players that are participating in the All-Star have their hearts in the game or not. I wouldn't blame them for saying, I don't really, with COVID and everything going on, I don't want to fully play, but I think that the break is well deserved because we got flashed the Raptors' upcoming schedule, and it's 66 days, 35 games. So it's going to be a lot of more basketball now after the stretch too, Ben.
Yeah, I think it feels a lot more cluttered this season as well because of the shortened season. They're trying to jam-pack a bunch of games right now, and the Toronto Raptors are in a weird position this season. As you mentioned, we lost our bench depth, we lost a lot of depth, we lost our go-to scorers in the paint, Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, obviously, and the Raptors are very top-heavy when it comes to scoring. The team does a good job on defense. I thought tonight we were solid on the defensive end. Obviously, when Jimmy Butler gets it going and stuff, it's tough to really slow the Miami Heat down. But 116 points, especially with all the turnovers we had, I thought the defense was fine. It's been fine. It's been good. It's been all these sorts of things. The offense is where we really seem to struggle. And tonight, Kyle Lowry played really well. We sort of wasted a Kyle Lowry bounce-back game. Fred VanVleet, the shots were going in. People were knocking down shots. But this team is very top-heavy in terms of scores. And that's to say that if one of Siakam, Fred, Lowry, or Norm are struggling, we're really searching for people to really pick us out of the mud. Could that be OG? I know he's flashing on the screen. He's about to say no. But OG, he struggled tonight, 6 of 13. He was okay, hit a couple threes and whatnot. But he's not really reliable as a scorer. Boucher, he has stretches where he's amazing, but he's not reliable, so to speak. And then the deep bench, we're really looking for answers right now. Baines, TD, all these guys, they're not super reliable players. And people are always saying, we need a big, we need this, we need that. I think the big man was, the worry about not having a big man was being able to guard big players. But we guard big players, that's fine. Right? We need people that can score, whether they're big or small, and can be relied upon. And that's the thing about this Toronto Raptors team. We don't have a lot of guys we can rely upon right now. And that's a big issue. And to your point about the back-to-back stuff, because this team is top-heavy, that's probably the reason. I know you as you say, they're supposed to be in shape, they're supposed to do all these things, but NBA games are grueling, especially when they're coming at you all rapid-fire like they have been for the Raptors. So the likes of Fred VanVleet, Lowry, I know those two, well, Lowry's been out for a while, but Siakam, who's really carried the load on the offense and defensive end, he must be gassed right now, sort of having this significant role for the team. OG, he's coming back from injury, but still, back-to-back night. It's a tough situation. I agree with you. There's no excuse, really, but it's still something to take into account.
It's a perfect point to bring up. It's extremely valid to say if you had a team that was more well-rounded and you could rely on your bench scoring, then you can share the minutes around and take off that burden of conditioning. But you're right. When Fred VanVleet plays 35 plus, 40 points against the 76ers, then the very next night he plays 38, 39 minutes again and is expected to get 24 to 30 points and be the person that's scoring down the final stretch. You're right. At that point, it starts to be too much. And to your point about OG, he came out inspired to begin the second half. The Raptors started the third on a 12-14-0 run, but it was the end of the third. It was that dreadful second quarter, and then it was not being able to contain Jimmy Butler and the rest of the guys then down in that final couple of minutes. So closing is definitely an issue, but you're right. The overall issue is not necessarily defense, it's bench scoring. And Boucher's been all right, but Bembry, no points. McCaw, no productivity from him. Stanley Johnson's minutes are so weird now. Terrence Davis has been really inconsistent because his minutes are also inconsistent. So we need some scoring. We need some consistency. Serge Ibaka, he was not only an interior defender, but a 15-point per game fella. And so that is missed too, Ben. Not a lot else to say about this one. Hopefully an extent. I don't know if there's any more games before the All-Star break, but if there's not, hopefully it helps the players recharge. Let's just swing it into the segments and take it from there, Ben.
Yeah, for sure. And a shout out to Jimmy Butler. This guy was really clutch down the stretch. True closer. Obviously, we're searching for that guy night in, night out, but Jimmy Butler, got to give credit where credit's due. Really dominated us down the stretch, and the Raptors were throwing punches. They didn't throw in the towel, but Jimmy Butler threw some bigger punches back. But as you said, we're swinging the segments tonight. The spicy pea lay of the day. And right here, it's got to go to Fred VanVleet's crazy lucrative shot for me. Kind of or a high arcing shot, not lucrative, whatever that is, but down the stretch could have been a momentum swinger. And unfortunately, Jimmy Butler came back and ripped our hearts out. But I don't know. It was a good shot for what it was, unless I'm missing something else, Riker.
Yep, that about sums it up.
That's gonna get some weird edits from some video editors out there if they're watching
Hopefully.
this pod. But not all plays can be the spicy Pele of the day, and some just make you say, "Oh, geez." And do you have one in mind, Riker?
I wish I did. We need some clarity around what happened with Pascal Siakam. Both of us weren't able to tune into a lot of this game, so I'm sure that there's more than him just straight up being benched. But if that's the case, then that's a big OGs because, it doesn't really affect you that much. You're still sitting at fifth. Again, you're only probably a game and a half game behind Indiana. Boston slipped out of the playoff picture because they lost against Atlanta tonight. So you're not really stressing at this point in the season. But these are games you want to win one way or another, Ben. There's no point to just give it up and say, here, take the win. Like, go for the victory. So that's my OGs.
Yeah, certainly. And yeah, Pascal Siakam, it really shouldn't come to a point where you need to bench him down the stretch. So hopefully he's not injured or anything like that, but definitely a tough look from your max guy. But a lot of these can get thrown out tonight. The infamous, the one, the only Damari Carroll Gold Star Award, and clearly when your superstar max guy is getting benched, he's getting a gold star. There's other players that could certainly be given to, even though a lot of players shot well from the field. I was really surprised Bembry, Johnson, McCaw, all these guys didn't get a lot of run in this one. Only 5 minutes, especially Bembry, who's been a beast as of late. I don't know, maybe Nick Nurse can get it out. I know you've named the Walmart hat. Like, he's gotten the most Walmart hat Nick Nurses, so... Do you want to sound off on anyone?
No, I don't think we need to dig too deeply into this one, Ben. I think we kind of brought our point across as we talked about this game, as we summarized it at the beginning. The one thing that I'll say is it's that intimidation on the interior. It's the scaredness of going in against the likes of Bam Adebayo or Kelly Olynyk, being scared against Tiny Tice of the Boston Celtics and being scared against Gina Sankumpo on the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, finally we turned them back into normal human beings. Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell, they went up strong against Giannis. They went up strong against Brook Lopez. They had the first good game against the 76ers, right? But when you're going up intimidated against Bam Adebayo, yeah, he just got the bag. He got a lot of money. He's a fantastic player. He's a good shot blocker. But he's not so much that the Raptors shouldn't be able to have their way. That's what I feel like every time the Raptors lose these games. It's that they come away from interior scoring, Ben.
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair. And, people are calling out, they've mentioned, and Riker, has anyone heard from Utah since he was banished to the like section, if people have said, since Anthony Edwards sent him down into the deep depths of the like section after that dunk? Because he's a guy that doesn't seem to be afraid of people. People are mentioning the rebounding right now, and that's certainly been a struggle for this team. And the Bam Adebayo just dominating down the paint. But are we ever going to hear from Utah again?
No, he's done. He's gone. He's he's a whisper.
I'm gonna miss that guy. That guy was great. Hopefully he gets a second chance. But it's weird that he's just disappeared from this Raptors rotation right now. But it is what it is. But the chats have been certainly sounding off tonight. So let's give it to that. Get into that final segment, Riker.
A true final 2 minutes this time, Ben.
Oh yeah.
Beep 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 beep.
Sad alarm today for this one here. So somber Raptor noises alarm. But sound off in the chat. We want to hear your guys' takes because the Toronto
2
Raptors.
minutes.
It's a weird one. So you're on the clock. You got 2 minutes to sound your chat. We'll sound off. People were talking about Andrea Bargnani earlier in this one, Riker. Should we sign back the GOAT? Primo Pastelin sauce. Shoot some threes. Get some rebounds. He's a big man. I think he's built for today's NBA.
Bench scoring, absolutely. It doesn't get much worse than what we're currently getting from our bench, so why not?
Masai leaving. Do you think that's going to happen?
Nah.
No? Think he's staying? We still haven't signed him.
That's fine.
Why is no one calling out Nurse for having 2 point guards on the floor? Likely, Cross Steve as our 2 point guards on the floor were our only really good scorers tonight. Lou Dort hit a game winner. Shout out to him. I think Shea had a massive game in that one as well. Vince Carter out of what?
Who'd they play?
I don't know. I just saw like I think it was in my fantasy league pop up or something.
Spurs.
Rip DeMar. Lou Dort's out here. He's probably a fan of DeMar when he was at the Raptors. Should we get Vince Carter out of retirement record?
No.
Boogie Cousins? Question mark.
Yeah, check out our video on that.
Check that out. We got a Masai saying bye-bye. Oladipo for Lowry. We're probably at a point now where we're going to get some wild takes on here. I like the Andrea Bargnani idea. That guy, I'm going to shout out Andrea Bargnani's Instagram. Quality follow. This guy's got some artistic pictures of like the water and stuff. Nothing basketball really related, but just seems like a cool dude, Andrea Bargnani. I want to give a little shout out to there. Good follow on
That was
Instagram.
like Boris Diaw was a photographer in his spare time. Boris Diaw, infamous sort of lovable guy, played on the San Antonio Spurs, I believe, to end his career, and he was known for just being like very much not about the NBA life, like just a chill, well-versed, worldly dude off the court, just into photography and doing his own thing. So shout out to Andrea Bargnani for pursuing the same.
Man, Il Mago, 2012, 2011, that guy could have been an all-star. So, I don't know. He got snubbed back then. That hurt 10-year-old me or however old I was. But you guys are the best to make this far. We appreciate everyone checking out this video. People are asking for trades. We're going to have the trade videos coming in. If anyone knows this channel, we always cover any of that. So, stay subscribed. Stay tuned to the channel. Check out the Instagram, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. Busy week for us, so we're really getting things moving on the social media side and stuff later this week. So definitely check us out all over there, the TikToks, the articles, all that. But you guys the best. Any last words, Riker?
5 blockbuster trades, Ben?
Jason Tatum for CJ Miles?
Cheers.